Shalom, shalom, Yasharallah. I hope all is well. Real quick. Abba, through his son, the Messiah, has given me so much insight today about what's coming. He's given me things that I know I will be able to use in the days that are coming, in the end days, the last days, that those who have insight and understanding understand. Those who understand, they'll be able to use in those days. He's given me insight. He's given me tips, not just tips, but my goodness, he's given me things, tangible tools that I'm equipped with now. That he's showing me things to where he'll be able to say there's no excuse now for you, son. You should be able to walk through this scotch-free if you just do exactly as I say. And I'm going to try and repeat the memo to y'all and share this blessing that he's given to me with you. So turn your ears on and understand that we are in those days. We've seen everything play out, just like Revelation said. The white horse would come first. It came. We saw the COVID, and then the red horse of war. We saw this Ukraine stuff start, and it's all happened in sequence, consecutively. And then we see this threat of the economic collapse with the black horse riding, with the scales in his hands, with inflation. We see it coming. The next one is death. Okay. And then you add on all the other signs that we've been given. Okay? So you should know we're about to the end. And that's why he's given me this insight today, because it wouldn't have been fertile soil for him to drop the seed with me in a time in the past. I had to go through what I've went through, seen what I've seen, read what I've read, learned what I've learned, loved the Most High the way I have in order to see these things. So that's another reason, another piece of evidence that lets me know, confirms to me, there's no doubt about it, what days we're in. So I'm going to read through Matthew 24 with you some more, and I hope your ears are turned on and your eyes are wide open, okay? Right here, he said, right after we read this earlier, when he says in verse 16, then let those who are in Yehuda flee to the mountains. He says, when you see that which is continual taken away, when you see that coming, when you see the mandate coming. I know for me before, I was in a panic when the lockdowns happened, because I was thinking, oh my gosh, they're going to put the stranglehold on us and they're going to force us to get this thing. That was my fear back then. And you seen it didn't come to that, but it was close. Look at how Canada was behaving. They were taking people's bank accounts and stuff that didn't get the jab. Well, that's what's coming. And we read about it yesterday or whenever in Psalms chapter 94, when he says they think that innocent blood is wrong. What do you think that meant? That it's what any forewarning we get from the word tells us what they're doing. It's a battle against the set apart and their blood. They want to contaminate you. So when you see that, he said, flee to the mountains. And there's a reason that he says what he's about to say. He says, let him who is on the housetop not come down to take whatever out of his house. So when you see that, you'll probably have a window of opportunity to get to the mountains. But if you're like me and like most people, you might think, because you're a dumbass like me, you might think, oh, well, before we go, I got to go back and get woo-wop-da-bam. No, because if you do, you'll miss your window of opportunity to go out into the mountains and escape being gathered to affliction, to be killed. You're going to have to make the toughest choice there is to make. You're going to have to lay down your head for his name's sake. But if you do as he says, if you take these words of warning, of advice, you can go untouched. Why? Because we're his children and he loves us. He's given us these tips, these pearls of fire right here. Don't go back to your house for nothing. If you're standing barefoot and you look, you see it coming and you look to the mountains and they're that way and you got to go behind you to your house to get your shoes, don't go back for your shoes. Because you might get pulled over on the way there. You might get picked up. They might be at your front door as you're coming out of the house with your shoes. You'll miss your opportunity. And let him who is in the field not turn back to get his garments. And woe to those who are pregnant and to those who are nursing children in those days. It's like he's saying woe to them because it's going to be harder on them for people with young children who are pregnant. So right now, if you're not pregnant, don't get pregnant. Stay. We're promised the life we've always dreamed of on the other side. Right now, you have to man up and woman up. Strap your boots on. Stay suited and booted, my mishpachah. For then there shall be a great distress, such as has not been since the beginning of the world until this time, no ever shall be. And if those days were not shortened, no flesh would be saved, but for the sake of the chosen ones, those days shall be shortened. The 45 days, roughly. It might only end up being 38 days, 39 days, right around that time. You just got to hold out for that long. If you got to go out to the mountain barefoot and find you a tree to lay under for 45 days, lay there and eat grass if you have to. But he'll take care of us. He'll feed us. He feeds the birds, right? But make sure you don't let no possession, nothing you have in that house of yours, deter you from going to the mountains. If anyone then says to you, look, here is the Messiah, or there, do not believe him. And they'll probably tell you that. They're probably going to have all kinds of tricks up their sleeve. Don't listen to none of it. Remember these words right here. Don't believe it. For false messiahs and false prophets shall arise, and they shall show great signs and wonders so as to lead astray all them tricks, if possible, even the chosen ones. Listen, he said, see, I have forewarned you. So if they say to you, look, he is in the desert, do not go out. Stay on the mountain. Or look, he is in the inner rooms, do not believe. For as the lightning comes from the east and shines to the west, so also shall the coming of the Son of Adam be. Here's the key verse that I want you to grasp, to let this sink in. Verse 28, for wherever the dead body is, there the vultures shall be gathered together. You know how many times I've read that and never once understood what it meant? Until today. We know that the last horse, it says it's that pale horse, and the rider's name is Death, and Sheol, hell, follows. Okay? I've showed you guys the Daigle population projection that in between 23 and 24, the America's population is going to drop off by 2/3, over 2/3. Their GDP is going to drop off by over 2/3. The world's population will drop off by over 2/3. There'll be death upon the land. We've been reading in Ezekiel and in Jeremiah how there won't be, people won't even be able to bury the dead bodies. He said, as an analogy for wherever the dead body is, there the vultures shall be together. So saying, if someone said there's a dead body over there, but you can't see it, you'll know that's a dead body if there's vultures on it, right? Around it and flying around in the air. You'll know that they must be telling the truth. But that's part of this analogy. That's part of this pearl of fire that you need to understand. It's literal. He means when you know and you see all the dead, they'll come to you and tell you Messiah's over here to get you to come back to where you can be contaminated too. And we saw a taste of it in the first lockdown when this first rollout came about. And they're tightening the squeeze. That's what all this is about. They're bringing about war. They're bringing about the economy, this BRICS nation, so they could do all this. It's all a storm. It's a swirling storm. And it's a bit shoot. It's to catch all the bad in one area, and it's to catch the good, the evil, the enemy, the beast. They're trying to tighten the noose and to wring out all the set apart, because they don't want no set apart left. But if you remember, I also say a lot of times too, ultimately Abba does it all. He whirls all this together. And it's a bit shoot for those who truly love him. You'll have to stay on those mountains. And when you know, one way to know that the Messiah has come, there'll be plenty of dead across the land. There won't be too many people left. That you need to understand that the reason it's Title 42, go look on the news, type in Gate 42 in illegal immigrants. You're going to see it. The 42 months is about over. The last 42 months. We probably got about 10 months left. Because that eclipse comes in June of 2024. So there's plenty of nuggets that you just got right there that I was given to give you, to arm you, to equip you for the battle you're about to partake in, that you're already a part of. I want to show you another thing, another battle that you're going to have to overcome. This guy right here, I meant to swipe out his name so you couldn't see his name, but his name and who he is not what I'm about to tell you. It's not what it's about. But read his message. It's like a lot of these Christians' mindsets, and they're going to come with you. They're going to come to you and tell you basically the same thing this guy told me on this comment, and it's the same thing that all these people who are wrong, who are drunkards, and who have been led astray, who stumble, and who have succumbed to crookedness. Or that's what they say. It's what they've been saying, and they're going to continue to say it. Wow, he said, the law was given to the Jews as to show their need of the Savior. Prayers for all those who are deceived and trying to keep the law, because that's exactly what you'll be judged by. And if you break it, you'll be guilty of them all. How often have you heard that? Those of you who can understand. But what we read, what have we been reading in Daniel? It said, the wrong shall not understand. They'll never get this through their thick head. And you definitely, and me, are unable to pierce and penetrate that wall that they've put up between them and the Most High. Because if you're like me and you've put down all paganry, you tore down that wall that once stood between you and the Most High, you realize how that comment right there is absolutely nonsense. It's ridiculous. It don't even make sense. It makes no sense. They're trying to justify the means they're trying to justify not loving the Most High, but expecting him to let them into their house. We're not saying that we're holier than thou. That's not what we're saying. We're saying love the Most High. If you can't put down idolatry, if you're married and you go out with your wife and stuff to your friend's house and stuff, and you tell everybody, that all your friends, man, I sure do love her. Man, I love that woman right there. And they really believe that you really do. But you're cheating on her behind her back with multiple people, but just one. Do you really love her? You're full of shit. And Abba knows it. You don't love him, and you've had ample opportunity and time to love him, to come back to him, but you don't want to. You keep saying dumbass shit like that right there that don't make a lick of sense. It don't. The reason I said this and showed this to you guys was because we are unable to tear that wall down that they've put up. What wall? We read about it in Ezekiel, the wall that said that they erected between themselves and him, that had the sons of Babylon carved on it. And we read all through Ezekiel. We've seen it all through Scripture. It's all about these holidays, these names, and pride. The curse is pride. If you can't stop tooting your own horn and start to toot his only, you can't come. It's not about judge and break them one. If you break them all, it's nothing like that's not what it's about. It's your heart, and you have a heart of stone if you still cannot see the truth, the writing on the wall. So if you do understand Mishpachah, and you do see that we're in the end times, you've put down paganry and Babylon. And you get these people that come, and I know I used to want to do it. I wanted to get in to not to debates, but have discussions, because I thought maybe there was something I might be able to say to just shed some light on something for these people. Don't even bother. I'm not saying that not to love these people, but we are not to pray for them. We done read. The Most High said, why would you pray for these people? And I'm not going to hear it. Have you not seen what they do to me and how they've slandered me and you? Why are you praying for them? I'm not saying to not love them. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying don't risk your eternal life for these people who've had ample amount of time and opportunity to turn back and love the Most High. Don't risk all the moves that you've made. Don't risk all your growth that you've gained over these years by loving and doing what you're supposed to do, because if they're wrong now and they're drowning in crookedness, they're not going to see. You're going to be wasting your breath, but possibly you could mess something up for your own salvation. Don't waste your time. Love them. You might as well not pray for them, because the Most High told us not to. And why would you? These people who want to use his word so they can promote and celebrate other false gods, mistress, or whatever, lovers. They can cheat on the Most High. Why would you pray for them? Yeah, if you're like Abba, you don't take any pleasure in the wrong dying. No. But you cherish your own life. That's why you're here. That's why I'm here, because I want to live. I don't want to die. That's why it was like one of the greatest blessings, gifts I've ever been given, what he's given me the last 2 days in his word right here in Matthew, in Psalms, and in Daniel, in Revelations. He's shown me 4 or 5 unbelievable tools that I will be able to use to make it to the gates and through basically unscathed. All I have to do is remember what he said when those times come, keep these words fresh in my mind, and be ready, suited and booted, baby, to make the right moves, make the right choices. And he's told us which choices to make. Flee to the mountains. Don't believe them, especially if there ain't a whole lot of dead people around, that a lot of people has died. When those things happen, it says right on down here, and this is another way, about the summer, the fig tree. Where's it at? It wasn't here. It might have been in Revelations. But he says, when the fig tree blossom, right here, and learn this parable from the fig tree. When its branch has already become tender and puts forth leaves, you know that the summer is near. You see all these leaves. It's become tender, the branch has. It's ready. It's about ready to pop off. It's here. Don't listen to these people who say, no, he's delaying. They're going to be just like in the days of Noah. The wrong will never understand. And it's way bigger than you or anything you can do. That wall is. You can't do anything to change their mind. That's between them and Abba. Do what you do, get on your horn, but don't get into no direct debates, because that's all they're going to be. They'll come in and say a bunch of nonsense, and then what will they do, sis? We'll see the bottom of their Nikes, won't we? And that's all you're going to do is just waste your breath and your time. And we ain't got much time left. I hope that blessed you like it's blessed me. I love you, Mishpachah. Hold on tight. I'm going to see you on the other side. Abba Yahuwah willing. All praise, all honor, all glory, and all esteem to Abba Yahuwah, the Most High. Face down. Peace out. D's out.